Excuse me, Brian, for sending this one. What if other people do not recognize my calling? My experience, this is going to happen to everybody, probably. And that's okay. Everybody is going to walk through a season where people don't recognize your calling. I actually have this theory, and I'm kind of goofing around it. I think at times God will even blind people to our callings. God will put the blinkers and the blinders above them. I think what most of us will do, I would say in the plan of God, is we'll go through a season where nobody recognizes our calling except ourselves. And we're called to press into relationship with God. And we don't find the safety, the succor, the comfort of other people coming along, patting us on the shoulder, saying, man, you really are called, or whatever. And it's like we've really got to lean into Jesus because it's all we have. And there will be a season, and that's a massive season of growth, but it's kind of like the growth of the plant, putting the roots down into the ground rather than the visible growth. And there will be a season when nobody sees your calling. And only you need to believe in it. There's often a season, this is actually the more dangerous one, where so to speak, everybody sees our calling. And the real danger there is we feel affirmed in our calling because everybody sees our calling. And when everybody sees your calling and pats you on the back and says, this is great, that's actually the time to come back and press into Christ Jesus and not build your calling on the fact that other people like it and popular. If you're called to do something, if you're called to be a pastor, it doesn't mean that a million people need to attend your church for you to call to be a pastor. Remember hearing Creflo Dollar speak about opening a church and just preaching and nobody came, and preaching the next week and nobody came. And he's like, I'm not doing this because people are coming. I'm doing this because God called me to do it. And that's a really vital thing. So I would say if nobody recognizes your calling, don't be discouraged. Everybody goes in that, but press into Jesus. But I would say as you operate within that calling, even just at a low level, your calling should begin to bear fruit. And if somebody tells me they're called to do something and just over years and years and years, there's never any recognition of that, I would question, could they have missed it? Do they have the humility to recognize that maybe God didn't call them to do this? Yeah. Last thought on this one as well. I think so often when we say nobody recognizes our calling, what we can often be saying is nobody's giving me a position or a acknowledgement in this calling or whatever, and that's a different thing. You see, if you're called to be an evangelist, go win souls. Whether somebody gives you a certificate or a badge, Graham the Evangelist, or a business card or a website is sort of irrelevant. That doesn't make you an evangelist. It doesn't add or subtract anything. If you're an evangelist, you're going to win souls. If you're a dog, you're going to bark. If you're a pastor, you're going to shepherd people and love people and care for people and take care. If you're a teacher, you're going to find an outlet to teach somebody. It's not because the peripheral exteriors that people put on things that give us our calling. So I would say somebody doesn't recognize your call, that's okay. Does God recognize your call? Then step into it at a low level. Step into it without looking for position recognition. And sooner or later, people will. Boom.